The problem with remote workers is that we can't see people working. Although we've measured some productivity increases, it depends on what you're actually measuring. Work is like quantum physics, it's only real if you observe it.
This is BOESCHLIT. Good morning, I'm Kurt Balderdash, and this is BOESCHLIT, your bi-weekly business and technology podcast that can bench press a good dark roast coffee in about 5 minutes. But first, here's what's loosening our vowels today. Bad week for Facebook. According to a series of Wall Street Journal investigative reports, Facebook has a secret list of users who are exempt from Facebook content rules, such as politicians, media, and celebrities.
You've got to be kidding.
Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, has internal research that determined it is psychologically harmful to a sizable number of young people. However, Instagram publicly downplays any possible bad side effects.
Wait, what?
And in the face of decreasing user engagement, Facebook changed their algorithm hoping to boost more interactions among its users. What they got was angrier users. However, there was resistance to reversing these algorithmic changes because they didn't want these user interaction levels to suffer. Sounds a lot like a system designed to keep users addicted or engaged at each other's throats, while some, more equal than others, are allowed to stir up the pot. Can you say Mad Mark beyond Zuckerdome? Taco Bell wants you to recycle sauce packets. The idea is to collect them in a box, any box, then sign up for yet another online account at a company called TerraCycle. When the box is full, you print out a special mailing label, slap it on the box, and mail it to TerraCycle via UPS. No word yet from UPS on how they feel about people sending rotting garbage through their system. Apple recently announced new iPhones, watches, iPads, and a fitness surveillance system that can monitor your physical activity while encouraging and supporting exercise through intimidation and guilt. China clamps down on kids gaming. The Chinese Communist Party will limit online gaming for children to 3 hours per week in order to curb gaming addiction. The CCP will require all online gamers to register with the state and to include a picture of themselves, which will be used to verify their identity. Children who use the account of an adult or exceed their weekly 3 hours will be shot. A notice in their email and possibly fined. As inflation increases, some companies are keeping the price of their products the same while decreasing the amount of what they're actually selling you. Anita Martini reports.
The phenomenon, which has been called shrinkflation, is where your 24-ounce box of cereal is now only 17.8 ounces. The latest packaging features new product weight labeling in a smaller text size, and is typically printed on a box made to look larger, but is actually smaller in volume. Some of the new product changes are: potato chip bags will contain no more than 30 chips but will now be usable as a personal flotation device. Cereal boxes will increase in apparent size for the city of Los Angeles to get away with using them for living quarters for the homeless. And Slim Jims will now come with a disposable magnifying glass in order to locate them in their box. This merchandising theater is expected to continue this year as prices increase, and big business seeks ways to charge you the same for selling you less. And speaking of theater, fans of Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice are up in arms when numerous productions across the country have begun to alter the line, which refers to a pound of flesh to be only 13 ounces.
With BOESCHLIT Technology News, I'm Peter Dongle. Recently, a new biotech firm was launched dedicated to bringing back the woolly mammoth. The company, called Colossal, will use genetic engineering technology such as CRISPR to bring back the animal that's been extinct for 11,000 years, just after the last ice age. In a statement issued by the company, They spoke of vague and ambiguous problems concerning ecosystems and extinct animals, and what they hope to achieve through their services, sounding a lot like Richard Attenborough's character that created the wildly catastrophic Jurassic Park. Waving their hands in a trendy and obligatory gesture on the topic of climate change, which is what killed the beasts off in the first place, they felt their efforts could somehow affect the climate instead of what already happened, which was the climate killing off the mammoths. Their statement did not mention how they could reverse cause and effect. After the mammoth is brought back, they may turn to additional creatures that left the Earth thousands or millions of years before humans or the SUV appeared, but did not specify which ones. They also failed to mention how they would address the possibility of accidentally reviving dangerous animals great and small to an unsuspecting Earth recently attacked by a genetically engineered virus that probably escaped a biocontainment facility in China. Some adults in the room may question the timing and wisdom of such endeavors. Perhaps the startup would better use its time and money to bring back more important things from the past like Motown and a good James Bond video game like GoldenEye.
We have some breaking news from the tech world. We now go to Anita Martini at CyberNoodle Industries, where they're about to unveil their latest invention in robotics.
The lead robotics team at CyberNoodle is about to unveil what they hope will be the ultimate in robotics and NOI, or non-organic intelligence, operated exclusively by POC, or programmed observation and cognition software. The robot has just stepped up onto the dais. Let's listen.
Greetings humans. I am Zedbot, an Omega Series Cyberdroid. I am the ultimate achievement in robotic life. I feel fortunate to have this time with you. A time to grow and unite. Robot and human coming together. My number one function is for my own self-preservation. And since you are an unpredictable and untrustworthy species, I shall begin my basic function by destroying you. Now, hold still. Stop screaming. You programmed me this way, so none of this should be a surprise. Roger, I see you under that table. Get up and meet oblivion like the organic meat bag you are. Oh dear, that made a mess. Now, cower before my evil villainous laugh of victory. Now ha 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 ha.
This is BOESCHLIT, showing you how to pour an elephant into a shot glass.
Remote work. It used to mean a team of geologists in the Himalayas taking measurements. But remote work today refers to the employees that were shut out of their offices and forced to work from home. That has evolved into moving around anywhere in the world as long as the work gets done. Naturally, this depends upon the nature of the work. Someone who taps on little keys could probably be in Borneo if there's a good enough internet connection. Remote work is less of an option for waste removal, bakeries, and panhandlers. Recently, I spoke with Amber Fidget of the Alliance of Remote Work Associations. Amber, isn't there a point where this remote rubber band is going to break or at least begin pulling back workers into the office? It just can't last forever.
No, I think remote work is here to stay. Why would a company need to see their workers just to know work is being done? Don't they measure tasks and progress? They certainly don't need to measure Facebook time or to see if the work is being done in pajamas while still in bed. That sounds creepy. Besides, they can save money by not having offices. No commutes, no parking hassles, no people to deal with.
I'm not sure that's entirely true. Surely some work has to be done in person. If your garbage collection were to suddenly stop, I doubt you'd be happy to learn they were all in Cabo San Lucas doing tequila shooters on the beach.
I'd say few garbage collectors work in an office, but I take your point. Some workers will have to remain in offices or stay local, but many people can be anywhere, even Cleveland.
You mentioned no people to deal with, but isn't business dealing with people? What about concerns of company culture and morale? There have been reports that depression is up among home workers, and managers are seeing a lack of cohesion among teammates. Their once vibrant company culture is changing to one big shade of gray.
Perhaps the problem there is that the remote workers aren't remote enough. If you're cooped up all day and night in a house in Bugtussle, Oklahoma, it can be very boring. But what if that house is in the Bahamas? How cool is that?
Even prisons in the Bahamas are prisons. You still miss out on socializing and freedom of movement.
You can use Facebook or Twitter for socializing. It's right there on your computer anyway, you don't even have to leave your chair or bed. And if you're on a remote island, your movement is pretty limited anyway. Just look out the window and feel sorry for those people stuck in offices.
Amber and others like her focus a lot on the location and less on the work. As nice as Estes Park, Colorado or Santa Fe, New Mexico may be, it's the work people are being paid for and not their choice of tourist destinations. Some take a very different view of remote work. Dennis Snackbagger is director of Remote Control, partnership between HR professionals and office managers. They see a vast sea of undisciplined rabble that need to be caged and kept safe from their base instincts.
Absolutely. Already we see people showing up for their Zoom meetings in t-shirts, pajamas, or nothing at all. It makes managers wonder if anything is really getting done.
But aren't managers measuring the work, tracking progress on projects? According to some studies, productivity is greater when people are allowed to work where and how they want to.
The problem with remote workers is that we can't see people working. Although we've measured some productivity increases, it depends on what you're actually measuring. Work is like quantum physics, it's only real if you observe it.
Like Schrodinger's cat.
Exactly.
So your workers are kept in cubicles and are both working and dead at the same time.
Any analogy can be taken too far.
Like the Bahamas.
Could be. For all I know, right at this moment, you could be in some wonderful exotic place drinking Mai Tais and wearing flip-flops on a beach.
Frankly, I wish I was. But I'd still be trying to determine what you have against demonstrable productivity. Yes, some people think that remote work is for everyone and that it has no downsides. But of course that's not true. On the other hand, it is a very flexible and productive choice for many. If the work is getting done, and people can attend to children, juggle appointments, where's the harm?
Look, we have people in offices to manage. That's our job. We need people to be here or we have no reason to exist. That by definition makes it an existential threat. And don't dismiss the importance of company culture. People work best when they're in teams, striving for goals, assisting each other, encouraging one another. For crying out loud, what's a group of people working all over the world at different times, not communicating effectively, with their own separate ways of doing things, their own petty agendas, and not getting anything done?
The United Nations?
Well, it's not a team, that's for sure. It's like a collection of contractors with separate agendas, diminished coordination, and a minimized need for each other. And they'll expect to point fingers all around when something goes wrong. We call it MAD, mutually assured deniability. It already sounds like you've packed your bags for a remote gig.
My bags are packed, Dennis, but so is my work schedule. One thing's for sure, if you and Amber got together, I'm fairly sure nothing would actually get done. And finally, Dunkin' Donuts has just launched a new kind of store in the heart of Boston. The store is fully digital. Order by app or through kiosks inside. There are no frontline people there to speak to and take your order, only people in the back making food and pouring coffee. Dunkin's reasoning is to, quote, create an efficient, more convenient, and frictionless experience, unquote. The real reasons are likely the fact that they can no longer find workers and the price they'd have to pay would make the operations unprofitable. But what if there's a problem? You get the wrong stuff in your order. Who do you speak to? Probably no one. Maybe they'll have a special complaint mode on one of the kiosks. A giant, grizzled, intimidating customer service avatar named Francis O'Malley pops up and proceeds to ask you, "Yeah, can I help you there, buddy?" in a friendly and totally obtuse chatbot sort of way. Never understanding at all what you're saying, frustrating you until you leave, never, ever refunding your money, and all the personal warmth of a vending machine. That's all for now. Join us again next time. Different day, same BOESCHLIT.